Today, we're talking about giving e-commerce businesses the power of data. Guys, this is so important. This is super timely, and you need to pay attention. We've got Kobe here to give us a presentation on exactly this. Kobe, welcome, and how are you?
Thanks, Chase. Great to be here. I'm doing great today.
Good, good. Well, I'm super excited. Before we dive in, I think it'd be helpful to know either briefly a little bit about yourself or briefly about beprofit, and that way people have some context kind of going into this conversation.
Sure thing. So first of all, as Chase mentioned, we're here to talk about giving e-commerce, businesses, you guys, at the end of the day, sellers, the power of data. beprofit is a platform. We are live on Shopify, WooCommerce, and a bunch of other major platforms, e-commerce platforms. So if in doubt, just Google beprofit and your favorite platform will probably pop up. I'm a product manager at beprofit. Very nice to really be here and get a chance to talk about our platform here on Chase's channel. And Chase, you invited us here to help the viewers, help the listeners find out a bit more about the challenges that we perceive for e-commerce businesses. So I'm happy to dive into that whenever we're ready.
Yeah, dude, let's rock and roll. The show is yours. Let's do this. I'm ready.
Sure. All right. So guys, first of all, before I get into the challenges that we've identified for sellers just like yourselves, I want to give you a bit of a background about, what is our mission at beprofit. We have thousands of users today, and we're growing. We started about a year ago. We've been growing at a pretty quick rate, and it's all thanks to, things we've learned from sellers like you, and thanks to what I believe at least is our mission that we've set for ourselves. So we've divided our mission into 4 sections. I'll quickly go over it. The first is to simplify the way that small businesses online can track their profits and expenses. Huge, huge problem in today's world with so much data to be able to do this, and we're going to dive into that really soon. It's to give you guys, the store owners, a clear picture of your data, because you can have all the data in the world, but if you don't know how to understand it, then that's a problem. Give you guys advanced tools to control your data, and of course widen our reach and be available on all e-commerce platforms. We're hard at work at that. So now that I've given a bit of a background, let's get started. The topic we're going to discuss today is 5 pain points for e-commerce businesses. Obviously, running an e-commerce business, just like any business, has its challenges, but we really believe that you can categorize all these challenges into 5 major pain points, at least on the analytical side of it. Not talking about the day-to-day challenges of running a business. So the first one, data everywhere. It's 2021 when we're recording this. Hopefully you guys will be listening, a few years in the future as well. But it's a huge challenge gathering data from so many different sources. We have sellers today, they advertise on multiple ad platforms. If a few years ago it was just Facebook and Google, the last few years, TikTok, Snapchat, Bing, Pinterest, Twitter, it just keeps growing and growing, the advertising world online. So you have all of your ad data, you have multiple shops. If you're a pretty big business, could be even on multiple platforms. Maybe you have a Shopify shop and a WooCommerce shop, and you have a Wix shop. Maybe you're selling on Amazon. And then you have all your costs, your business's costs. You have your costs of goods, you have your marketing costs, the shipping costs, transaction fees, taxes, any other, overhead expenses. So it gets really, really crowded. Okay, and the first challenge for running a business, understanding your profit, is being able to even gather the data from all these different data sources. Let's assume you have the data. Okay, you've gathered all of it. The second challenge now is making sense of it. Okay, you have these mountains of data now. You've collected your costs and your revenues and consolidated from all the different platforms, and now you need to actually crunch it. You need to be able to analyze it, create graphs and tables that'll make it easy for you to understand, okay, how much am I actually making? How much am I spending on ads? And how much, what's my return on my ad spend? How much am I making compared to that? So many different metrics that you can start analyzing. The problem is that you have to sift through all these data, all this data to find insights. It's like needles in a data stack, as we put it here. Okay, you have all this data, you collected it. Okay, you've consolidated it, and let's say you even have your tables and graphs, and it all looks nice. Now you need to know what you're actually looking for, right? So you need to be able to filter your data, narrow your search. You need to be able to cross-reference your data. You have your orders data here and your products data here. You need to be able to combine them and understand, okay, which is my best selling product? Okay, who is buying my best selling product? Questions like that that are going to help you be able to maximize your profitability. Are your ads adding profit? A major question for any e-commerce business that's already started getting into their analytics. You start to realize that, some of your ads are more successful and some of them may actually be losing you money. Just a second. Okay. Some of your ads may actually be losing you money. So you need to be able to accurately track how much you're spending and how much you're making on all of your advertising efforts. Okay, and this means, let's say you're advertising on 3 different platforms. You need to be able to identify your most successful campaigns in each one of them, identify the return on ad spend that you're getting in each of these campaigns, and then you can even dive into individual ads, ad sets, etc. All of this to pinpoint, where am I actually making money? Where should I be focusing my marketing efforts? And the last major pain point connected to everything we just talked about is actually getting to know your customers. Okay, so I can identify which customers are my best ones based on, the ad platform they came from, because I can see, okay, this campaign brought some very high quality people to my shop. They made purchases, they came back later on and made more. But that's just one way that I can identify good customers. I can try and look at, okay, which is the first product that they all purchased that led them to later come back, right? So, that's another way to look at it. I could look at it by time. As you guys all know, there are ups and downs during the year for e-commerce. We're starting in November now, recording this, and November is the big month, November and December. So these 2 months are going to be hectic. They're going to be intense, and that has a lot of meaning for what you need to do with your marketing efforts. You need to push hard and spend more in order to get more customers. So this all coincides with getting to know who your customers are, when they make their purchases, what do they buy, what increases the odds of a repurchase, all of this, to increase the lifetime value, which is a key metric that I'm sure most of you, or even all of you, know about. Trying to increase the lifetime value of a customer so they return again and again and make repeat purchases. So those are the 5 major pain points that we at beprofit have identified, and our goal is to resolve them, to help you make sense of them. So if we're looking at the 5 pain points here on the left, this is everything we just talked about, and from here on out, we're going to discuss how beprofit can help you overcome these challenges. So first of all, integrations. They have so many different uses. First of all, they save you time. They make sure that the data is as accurate as possible, and they enable you to do to identify trends so easily, because we're pulling data from all of these different ad platforms for you, e-commerce platforms for you. So everything that has to do with gathering your data is done almost completely automatically. And later on, I'll show you the onboarding process in beprofit and how simple it really is to gather all this data. So, we have integrations with all the major ad platforms, many of the major e-commerce platforms. We have a Chrome extension for drop shippers using AliExpress, which identifies and pulls the data from AliExpress. And for the minor little things that need to be done manually because we don't have an integration, we have some very cool wizards that try and help make it a very smooth process for you guys. Number 2, beprofit automatically creates detailed charts and graphs. We have a very cool intuitive dashboard. These little images that you can see here on the left are all very artistic, but they're inspired by what our dashboard actually looks like, and we'll give you a peek of that a little later on. We have custom reports. We have a profit and loss report, so many different reports. We have a daily snapshot, which helps you understand how you're doing today. You can just take out your phone and refresh and check. The refresh even happens automatically. You don't even need to refresh. Just open beprofit, boom. You see how much sales you're doing today and your profitability, and you can also look at yesterday's stats very quickly. Everything to be able to help you find insights. We have everything that has to do with ad data we take very seriously. We have a UTM attribution tool, which I'll quickly go over later, but basically what it does is it identifies your UTMs. Okay, so you made an order. This order has, a UTM, a source, and a specific campaign, maybe if it's paid, and all these different data points. We're able to take all these data points and easily and smoothly turn it into something that's intelligible. And it helps you understand and compare your return on ad spend between the different platforms and all the challenges we mentioned earlier. And the final very cool tool that we offer is helping you identify your most valuable customers with cohort analysis. For anyone who doesn't know what a cohort is basically a group. So let's say I can talk about my July 2021 cohort. Okay, so all the customers who made their first purchase in July 2021, that's a cohort. And I can compare this cohort to other ones. I can compare July to August, or Q1 to Q2, etc. And this will really help you guys compare and contrast your different customers and understand which are the most successful ones. So, the advantages of using beprofit, I went over a lot of it now. I'll sum it up with the integrations, specifically ad platform integrations and the multi-platform support. By the way, a very cool tool that we offer for anyone with multiple shops. Doesn't even matter if they're from different platforms or for the same one. If you have multiple shops in your beprofit account, you can actually enter a multi-shop dashboard view. And what that does, it aggregates all of your data into one dashboard, and you can get a really high-level overview of your business. So integrations, accuracy, which comes from both the automation of the integrations and the flexibility that we enable for sellers to, come and say, you know what, this may have been pulled from Facebook. I want to tweak it a little because I know maybe something here isn't 100% right. You tweak a little bit of the ad spend, you tweak a little bit of the taxes that you're paying maybe. Everything in beprofit, anything that we pull automatically or that is defined by you guys is fully editable. So there's a ton of flexibility in order to pinpoint exactly the insights and the metrics that you need. And the sophisticated ROAS analysis. ROAS, everyone knows, is an extremely important metric, and everything we do in the marketing sphere is geared towards giving you guys the most accurate indication of your ROAS and a drill down into it between different ad platforms, campaigns, all the way down to the individual ads. And what we really love to see is the users that we have, giving us feedback. A lot of the features that I'm going to go over quickly in a few minutes came from user requests. So, if you guys take a look at the app later on and you like what you see, but you feel something's missing, let us know, because a lot of the times that's happened, we've been able to add the feature that was requested pretty quickly, a pretty quick turnaround, and it became, a lot of them became key features in the app. So we love our users. We are always happy to see feedback from them. I'll be honest, most of it is positive, which is great to see. And I really attribute a lot of that to our quality user support. We have a great support team. If you download the app, install it, you'll definitely be able to be in contact with them, ask any questions that you like. If there's something that our support team isn't fully able to answer, they automatically escalate it up. And, you may even end up talking to me, which would be pretty cool. Always fun to get to know users. So, I'd like to go over some of the main features of the app. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because it's a very wide, platform with a lot of different reports, stats, and analytics. So we're going to go over the onboarding process quickly and show you what the dashboard kind of looks like. So this is the dashboard, okay? In order to reach this dashboard, you go through a very intuitive onboarding process in which you're asked to complete your integrations. Okay, so we'll ask you to connect your different ad accounts, connect your different e-commerce platforms, and then we'll pull that data in automatically. We will ask you to tell us your shipping costs, your COGs, your processing fees, and all of that through very simple wizards. Okay, so for example, if you're a Shopify user and you already have your COGs on Shopify, we're going to pull them automatically. And you'll be able to edit them, change whatever you like. If you have shipping profiles already created, we're going to pull them automatically as well. So you try to automate as much as possible, but we have very cool little wizards that'll help you set up your costs that we're not able to automatically integrate. So you set up your shipping costs, your COGs, your processing fees, and you can add any overhead expenses, on a fixed or variable basis. If you're paying, I don't know, $5 an order, to some agent, or you're paying 20% of your Google ad spend to an ad agency, it can get pretty flexible, and any kind of expense that you have, you'll be able to add. And you can even add any other revenue that you get, okay? Beyond the revenue that you're getting in your platforms, you have, I don't know, an investment was made in your business. You took out a bank loan. Any kind of thing like that, you can add as other revenue as well, and it'll be considered here on the dashboard. So you can see here, this is what the dashboard looks like from the top. Yesterday's snapshot, the snapshot we were talking about before, you can choose to see yesterday or today. And then you get a graph showing trends in your key metrics. You get your gross profit and net profit. Scrolling down the dashboard a bit, more of the key metrics, total sales, all of your costs, including the ad spend. You can see the ROAS is already calculated here for you. You scroll down a bit more, you get a very cool graph of your profit and expenses breakdown. You can drill down and see out of all of your other expenses, your overhead expenses, which are the biggest. So in this example here, the office expense is the biggest. You also have website expenses. You have your Shopify plan. In this case, it's a Shopify user. Any subscriptions to other apps. Continue to scroll down. You get a very cool little carousel of your products. So you can see the best sellers, most and least profitable products. Again, if you have multiple shops, you connect all of them, and this dashboard will apply to all of your shops. So you can see your best selling product from every shop that you have, which is a pretty cool tool. You get a trend of your orders and your AOV, your average order value, another very important metric. And at the bottom of the dashboard, a marketing analysis, which shows you, in this case, in this example, we connected all of the ad platforms to beprofit. So you have 6 of the major ad platforms here. You can see the ad spend trend over time, your cost of acquisition, and your ROAS. Okay, and what's very cool about this is that you'll be able to drill down into each platform and check out the ROAS per platform. How do we do that? UTM attribution. Talk about this for a minute. Basically, what we do is we identify your UTMs. Okay, in this case, the UTM is a Facebook UTM. As you can see here, we identified that 21 orders were placed with this combination. So we see the medium, the campaign, the source. Anyone who's structured UTMs before knows exactly what they're looking at here. And what we do is we enable you to take this UTM and say, okay, this UTM campaign matches to a corresponding Facebook campaign. Okay, this source FB is Facebook. The medium in this case is a mobile feed, so you can say that maybe it's a specific ad that you have for mobile users, right? Because you usually have different ads happening. So all of this is attributed, and then what happens is you can go on your marketing page, and as you can see here, these columns that have the little UTM tooltip on the right, they're based on everything you attributed with your UTMs. So if we look at Facebook here, we can see the amount spent, the clicks, and the cost per click. All of this comes from Facebook itself, right? But then the rest of the columns, the number of orders, the revenue, the ROAS, conversion rate, and the profit, that's all calculated based on the UTM attribution. So in this case, nearly 3,000 orders were attributed to Facebook. They made nearly $400,000 in revenue, and then we show you the return that you made on the spend and the conversion rate and your profit at the end of the day. And a lot of the UTM attribution is done automatically as well, because if we identify that the source is FB, we already know that means Facebook. So we're not going to ask you to map that automatically. So even once you enter the dashboard for the first time, you're already going to get a pretty accurate picture here, even before you start playing around with the attribution wizard. And what's so cool about this is that you can so easily see which are your best performing platforms. And in this case, Facebook is a clear winner with the highest ROAS, the highest conversion rate. Disclaimer, this is all dummy data. Yeah, we're not suggesting that anyone needs to favor advertising on Facebook over any of the other platforms, but in this specific example, Facebook is a clear winner. And you can see that Pinterest, for example, with the lower ROAS and the lower conversion rate, you're probably better off not spending the money there right now. Obviously, the allocation of ad spend is a little more complicated than that, but this gives you a very easy insight to start from. So that's a marketing page. And before we wrap things up, I want to talk just a few minutes about our cohort analysis. I mentioned it earlier. This may seem a little overwhelming, But it's actually pretty simple. You can see here on the left the different cohorts. If you remember, the cohort is a group of customers. So you can see for each month how many new customers you had. And from then on out, it's all calculations based on the performance of this group. Okay, so for example, if we're looking at the cohort of October 2020, nearly 600 new customers, their lifetime value is nearly $57, but you can see that when they started, okay, 0 months since their first order, so during October 2020, their lifetime value was just $51. And then what happened is these customers started coming back and repurchasing over time, and you can see how the LTV slowly grows, and 10 months down the line, it's at $57. So this tool helps you understand, two major insights, I'd say. First of all is how quickly the LTV grows over time. So some shops, they'll have a huge jump, from month 0 to 6 months later. Some shops, you're not going to get repurchases more than a month down the line. So you're going to really push hard for the initial LTV. It really changes. So you'll be able to see how your LTV grows over time per cohort. And the very cool thing is you'll be able to compare them. And the colors, the different colors you're seeing here, are helpful for that comparison, because the darker the color is, the higher the LTV. So for example, you can see that December and January in this example are the strongest months with the highest LTV. So this is just one of the analyses that you can do using the cohort analysis tool. As you can see here, we have different base metrics you can use. So instead of looking at LTV, which is basically sales, you can look at your ROAS and see how that grows over time. You can look at your repurchase rate and compare and contrast that between different cohorts. Instead of looking at an average per customer, which is what we're seeing here, you can look at the total. You can look at how the data is accumulated. So you can accumulate it over time, or you can look at marginal accumulation, which basically means, let me see in the second month how many sales did I have on top of what's already happened. Okay, it's a little difficult to explain in this format, but what's really great about the cohort analysis is that we have this button here. What is a cohort analysis? You click that, takes you to a very, very deep guide on how to use this super useful tool. And you can easily set up a call with someone from our product team to personally go over this for free, because we know it can be a little overwhelming and complicated. But we're very happy to help, because we know that this tool can really generate some very useful insights. So I'd like to thank you guys for listening. Chase, I'm going to hand it over back to you. I just want to say, feel free to Google beprofit. It's just how it's written here. You'll see us on multiple platforms. And Chase, I think we even have a little discount ready for the listeners, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, this is fantastic. So first off, thank you. This info was incredible. This was insanely helpful, and I think every brand, every business, and even agencies probably should be looking at this for their customers and clients. And the website is beprofit.co, and I believe the code was I think we made it CD15. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Cool. So I'll have that in the description. But yeah, this was incredible. So once again, it's beprofit.co. I'll have a link in the description. They're kind enough, because they came on the channel, to give 15% off. So I believe the code is CD15, but check the description for the exact info. And Kobe, thank you so much. This was incredible.
Thank you, Chase. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And actually, last thing, where can people find the company on social? Is it beprofit? Is it beprofit app? I'm trying to remember the handles.
Yeah, it's beprofit. It depends on the platform. Sometimes it's beprofit _ co. But if you look up beprofit on any of the major socials, you'll find us. We're there.
Amazing.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We'll be happy to get any feedback. And of course, if you go onto our website, beprofit.co, you'll be able to install the app from there. You'll be able to read a little bit more about the product. And we're looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Amazing. And I'll have the social links. I'll do the research after, drop all the links below. So thank you so much for being here. Really excited about this one.